us as 12 tribes of Judah, as a member of the Hebrew people, we are still inside of our genocide. 50% of all black deaths a year is abortion. 50% of all black deaths a year is abortion. 50% of all black deaths a year is abortion.
Networks Instagram and Twitter have removed posts by American rapper Kanye West over the weekend after he accused Jews of shutting down whoever opposes your agenda. West, who goes by the pseudonym Ye, said he would go DEFCON 3 on Jewish people, and also wrote for the caption of a photo, "Jesus is a Jew." The rapper has since deleted most of these posts. Now for more, I'm joined by Jewish online influencer and author Chen Mazig, also a senior fellow at the Tel Aviv Institute, standing by for us in London. Chen, thank you for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
So first, try to make sense of all of this for us. This is not Kanye's first online rant, but he certainly made a specific aim at the Jewish community this time.
Yeah, it will be hard to try and make sense of this story, but I will try. I think it all started in Fashion Week in Paris earlier this week when Kanye West was wearing a White Lives Matter t-shirt, and that sparked a controversy. And then later on, he was interviewed by Tucker Carlson on Fox News, in which interview he made a few comments that were very problematic, including one about Jared Kushner, the former Trump advisor, and saying that the peace deal that he did with Israel was motivated by money and greed, which is, as we know, an anti-Semitic trope. And then things just gotten worse, and he took to Twitter and to Instagram, first on Instagram posting a private conversation between him and the rapper Puff Daddy, and claiming that Jews are the fake Jews and that the black community is actually the real Jews.
And by the way, we blood of Christ. We blood of Moses. We're not just a color in a crayon box. And if we knew that, who we really were, we'd treat each other differently. We'd treat ourselves differently. So when you say, I'm black and I'm proud, like, but of what concept are we understanding? They say, go see the African History Museum. Why do they start when the boats came? Why don't they start with the drums?
When we was kings.
No, they don't want it, but we are kings. But the 400 years doesn't have to deal with slavery. It has to deal with the Bible. It has to deal with us being disobedient to God.
Right.
And that's why we farm land that isn't our own. Record labels, the NBA, Hollywood. These boys be scared. They be sitting there. Michael B. Jordan be telling my cousin, like, man, I want to do what Ye do, but I'm just, I'm right here. Or, like Kevin Hart be like, man, I like that. I'm envious of what Dave Chappelle could do. Us as 12 tribes of Judah, as a member of the Hebrew people, we are still inside of our genocide. 50% of all black deaths a year is abortion. And Black deaths a year is abortion.
Wow.
And Plan B was created by Margaret Sanger with the KKK for black population control.
Wow. You're getting deep right now, yeah.
This is what I cried about during the election.
And then the self-affirming tweet that says that Jews control everything, which is, it's very smart anti-Semitic tactic to say that Jews control everything. And if we are actually, if the tweet does get removed, then you can say, oh, you see, they do control everything. And if not, you got away with an anti-Semitic tweet. And that's really a lose-lose situation for the Jewish community. I think it's really scary when we're looking at it, because this type of hate speech is nothing new. It's rooted in anti-Semitic and neo-Nazi and white supremacist ideas, but it's really going to harm the Jewish community when these ideas are being spread on a platform as big as Kanye West.
Yes, very old-fashioned claims against Jews. Chen, you're following online rants like these. Do you feel like these public displays of anti-Semitic remarks are becoming more mainstream, more widespread, and are these social networks doing enough to stop them?
It is, and we are monitoring it at the Tel Aviv Institute on a daily basis, and we're seeing a very troubling increase in this sort of hate speech. I mean, earlier this week, the father of Gigi Hadid, the supermodel, Muhammad Hadid, was posting on his social networks that Zionists are like Nazis, and we all know that comparing Jews and Israel to Nazis is a hate speech, an anti-Semitic hate speech, and we're seeing this sort of conversation being popularized.
George Galloway is one of quite a few people today saying Ken Livingstone talked about the facts. Why do you believe it was anti-Semitic?
Well, George expressed it, as ever, far better than Ken Livingstone. George said, Zionism and Nazism are two sides of the same coin. Now, that is clearly not true. Nazism was intended to destroy the Jewish people. That was his intention. The problem is that people use anti-Zionism to conceal their anti-Semitism. You say you're anti-Zionist, well, what you're really saying is you're against the existence of the State of Israel. If you don't want Israel to exist, that is clearly anti-Semitic. It's not a kind of vaguely nice opinion. It's actually a very bad opinion.
George Galloway?
No, Zionism and Israel are political constructs. If you were for the downfall of the Soviet Union, as John was, that didn't mean you hated Russian people. In fact, you could say it meant the opposite, that you wanted to liberate the Russian people from the political system under which they lived. Ken Livingstone doesn't have a racist bone in his body. In fact, he'd still be the mayor of London if he hadn't gone out on a limb on anti-racist causes over and over again. We cannot allow this conflation. It's dangerous for everybody. Being against Israel is not being against Jews. Many Jews are against Israel. You've just had one on the screen, Lenny Brennan.
And they did take action with Kanye West's tweet, but that's not, unfortunately, not the only one that is out there that is spreading this sort of rhetoric. And as I said, we do know that this sort of hate speech doesn't stay online. It's reaching the street, and that's what's going to happen eventually. There will be anti-Semitic violence because of the lack of serious tackling of those mega media platforms like Meta and Twitter that are really not doing enough. And TikTok, of course, to really protect the Jewish community, like they do with every other minority. But it just seems like the Jewish community is never getting its voice heard by those media giants.
Listen, Genesis chapter 11, verse 10 explains the genealogy of Shem. Shem was a black man in Africa. If you repeat this fact, Genesis 14, verse 13, Abraham steps on the scene. Being a descendant of Shem, which is a fact, means Abraham too was black. Abraham, born in the city of a black man, called Nimrod, grandson of Ham. Ham had 4 sons. One was named Canaan. Here, let me do some explaining. Abraham, Isaac was Jacob had 12 sons. For real, and these were the children of Israel, according to Genesis chapter 10. These were the children of Israel, according to Genesis chapter 10. These were the children of Israel, according to Genesis chapter 10.